Hello, everyone. I'm happy to be back with another young Indian this time, Voice of the Young series. Right now, we have with us Arshita Anand. Let's listen to her. Over to you, Arshita.
Thank you so much, sir. And it's really a privilege to be here. I'm very glad that we got connected on LinkedIn. Hello everyone. I am Arshita Anand. I am a final year student at Chanakya National Law University. I'm currently pursuing an integrated BBA LLB course with a specialization in corporate law. I'm also the co-founder of Vaquill, which is India's first multilingual legal blog. It is currently operating in six different languages: English, Hindi, Marathi, Bangla, Tamil, and Telugu. Apart from that, I am also a Startup India awardee. I received it very recently from the government for my project named FreeLawncer. It is a freelancer is a legal platform that connects legal professionals and law students to clients for their legal and almost legal projects. So, like for example, be it a legal research project or be it some legal research or like any case research or even if there was some sort of legal consultations involved. So it is basically a project-based platform, meaning that this is not an employment sort of, but more like a freelancing sort of platform, which also explains the name freelancer. It's taken from the word freelancer. And that is it for my introduction.
Well, go ahead. Tell us more. How you came up with all these ideas, what your background is, how you made your decisions. Let's hear it.
Sure. So, I would majorly be talking on Vaquill because it is already in making. It is something that is tangible right now. You can also access it through Google. So, Vaquill was created as a platform which was accessible to all. So, I personally felt that legal education or legal information is one sector that is extremely neglected in India, meaning to say that if you were to, let's say, go and like search for information, search for some legal information, 95% of the legal blogs that you will discover through Google search will be in English. And this is where the problem lies, because essentially at one point in time, you and I can understand English. English is our second language. You and I can understand English. But when it comes to people who do not understand English or do not have like a very understandable level of English, that is where the problem arises. They cannot make any head or tail of these information, right? And that is why Vaquill started. So if you see the word Vaquill, it is a combination of Vaquill and Quill, because it started as a legal blog. We are now expanding into a lot of different domains, but it started as a legal blog. So we combined Vakil and Quill, and that's how we came up with the word Vaquill. And it started providing information in six different languages. And surprisingly, and I would rather say unsurprisingly, because since the niche is like very, very narrowed down, the most of the uh, viewers that we get, the visitors that we get on a platform, is in the Marathi language. And it's amazing to see that once you get into such a sector, you will start seeing that how many people are there who are actually being benefited by something that you made. And that is the whole purpose behind Vakwil. If I start with my introduction, my brief personal background would be something like that. I have been a first generation lawyer and I come from a very backward state. So, when I took law as my profession, when I first entered into my university, my entire family was very against taking law as a career option, because essentially, if you are coming from a very backward state, the first and the foremost thinking is कि सरकारी नौकरी चाहिए. You go into that domains that give you something of some job security, or like something that gives you, kind of a status and kind of a symbol. This is what every Bihari family would prefer. So that is why a lot of my relatives also did not want me to get into law. And especially because I'm a woman, a lot of them did not want me to get into law because it's considered to be a male dominated area. So after getting a lot of backlashes from my relatives on getting into law, I still finally chose law because it's something that I wanted to pursue. It's something that saw a lot of potential in, but it was also because I I was actually in some different sort of career streams. So, like, I had bio, I was actually preparing for NEET. But when you see a lot of people going to that rat race of like JEE mains and like NEET and PG, then you start looking for some other alternatives. I had that kind of mindset. So, I started looking for a lot of alternatives, in which law was also one of them. I started reading upon it, I started researching a lot on it, and it was something that struck me a lot because I used to debate a lot as a kid, even as a student in my 10th and 12th. So it was something that fascinated me a lot. So I just gave CLAT as it is. Somehow I ended up with a really good score. I would not say a really good score, but then it was decent enough. And I got admitted in Chanakya National Law University. So I went there. And it has been one of the most crucial decisions and one of the best decisions that I have taken so far. Because once you convince your parents that NEET is not something you want to do, doctor is not something that you want to be, a lot of people go against you, and which is what happened in my family. Also, being a first generation lawyer, I was told that I would not be given any support in terms of any professional support of any sort, because no one was there in my family to who already had a path on being a lawyer. But then all of this happened. I ended up in Chanakya National Law University, and I made the most use of my time in all throughout my 5 years. There has hardly been a month, or month is a too long time frame. I would even say there has hardly been a week where I have not been constantly like um, hustling to make something new, or to do some contract drafting, or to do something of any sort, so that just I should be productive. So this was one of the things. My education, the 10th and the 12th that I did is from very reputed colleges of schools of Patna. My 10th is from St. Joseph's Convent School, my alma mater. It's Ironically, this is also the place that I went to about a month ago for legal awareness of legal education. So, and when I stepped into these buildings after, like, I think it's been 7 to 8 years now, I stepped into these buildings, and the teachers still recognized me. And then I made an entire presentation on what legal education is, how you could get into it, how you could get into corporate law. And there were a bunch of students, bunch of 11 12 class students, which I had and my team, in my entire legal aid team, we had presented to them how this was supposed to look like, how your career would look like in future if you were to get into legal education. So this is something that is a very new experience to me, right? Coming from my alma mater, an institution that has given me so much things to do, so much potential to excel in any field, and then coming back to that place and trying to give something back to that place, it's a very real feeling to have. Then again, my 12th was in Notre Dame. It's another institution that I'm planning to go into once my legal aid team starts functioning again, and I'll go there as well for my spreading education about spreading information about legal education and stuff. In college, I have been very active in debating, mooting, and legal aid. These are the three committees also that I've been a part of, especially the debating committee that our college has. It's one of the most prominent ones in our college. Not in our college, but like on a nationwide level. So I'm the secretary of this debating society that we have in CNLU, and it has done wonders for my personal growth and my debating skills and my speaking skills in general. English, since it was not my first language, I had a lot of speaking issues with people. I still have a lot of speaking issues with people. I am not able to frame very coherent or grammatically correct sentences in like one go. But I think in these past 5 years, the debating society has helped me a lot to grow. It has helped me become a much more fluent person, and a much more articulate person in terms of like speaking and like framing my sentences. And that is one of the best gifts that any society can give you. It builds your entire confidence, and it builds your personality. It's something that I cherish. I would cherish throughout my life. Secondly, there is this one moot committee that I have been part of. If you do you have any idea about mooting?
Do I have?
Are you do you have any idea about what moot court society does?
No. Tell me. I know what is moot
Oh,
court, but
sure.
this is your job to tell me. I am not going to. It's your job to talk. Tell us.
Okay, sure, sure. So basically, moot court is a dummy court sort of thing. So you are given a fake proposition, a fake case of, if you can say it in layman terms, and you're supposed to prepare like entire memorials and how you would, argue that entire case in terms of, let's say, if you were a defendant or if you were the prosecutor. So in either of these cases, you're given one side, pick one side, and then you're supposed to like argue the entire case, and it's entirely a made up case, it's entirely a made up situation, and you're supposed to frame your entire memorials, you are supposed to frame the documents related to it, and then you're supposed to file it in a dummy court and then proceed. So this is basically what a moot court looks like. Now, the preparation for any of this moot memorials or the moot competitions that occurs can range anywhere from like 2 weeks to 1 month, even more if you're going for international competitions. So far, I have been a part of 9 to 10 mooting competitions. Uh, Majority of them have taken about a month or 1.5 months of preparation, but few of the international ones that I did, that easily took me 3 to 4 months of preparation. And if there are very credible international moves, like let's say Jessup is there, this move is there. These are something that are like extremely prestigious moot, and people take even a year for preparation for to get into these kind of moot competitions. So this is one of the good stuffs and one of the most crucial stuffs that any law student is required to get into. The third being the legal aid cell that I'm a part of. And this was something that I got into because, again, I am coming from a very backward state of India. So I have seen the struggles that people, sorry, I've seen the struggles that people face on a daily basis, especially the women in my state. And if you are a backward caste woman in my state, and especially if you are like not from a very financially capable position, the place is really, really bad for you. The entire situation is really bad for you. The entire machinery works against you. And that is where legal aid cell comes into picture. My college's legal aid cell is one of the best that our country has. It has been working into arbitration, has been working into free legal consultation. It has tried to spread awareness about a lot of different topics. We try to get into colleges and schools where there are young people who are about to pick their career streams, and we try to persuade them into getting into law as their professional career field. So these are some of the things that we do as legal aid members. And it's when you talk about debating and mooting societies, these two are considered fundamental for your professional growth. But legal aid is something that is very close to my heart because it's coming from a personal space. It's not for any professional growth. It's not for any career growth. It's something that I do for the society, and I feel a lot of peace in doing that. Um, yeah. So I did a couple of debates. I did a couple of moves. I won a lot of them. It has been a great experience so far. The most recent one that I won was in Banaras Hindu University. My team had gone there and we won the best speaker and the best memorial. It's a good feat to have, if I may say so. But it's been really fun, and it gives you a lot of exposure also to get into different places, get into different states, meet a lot of people, meet a lot of judges, and when you do meet a lot of judges, you also make a lot of network, you get a lot of networking opportunities, and it's also good for your career growth and all sorts sort of things. Yeah, so this is what my college has looked like so far. And then I started doing internships. So, like in any law college, you are essentially provided with semester breaks. So, like after, let's say, 4 or 4.5 months of studying, you're given one internship break of, let's say, 1.5 months or 2 months, ideally 2 months. So, in these months, I did a lot of physical internships. So I used to haul myself to Delhi. Then I used to intern at these places, tier two and tier one firms, and which is also why freelancer came into existence, because a lot of these firms do not pay you when they are taking work from you. So because you want something on your CV, you are supposed to haul yourself to some metro city every 4 months, and then you go there and you work there without wages, with as an unpaid worker. But then it's very financially burdensome on you, right? And that is why freelancer came into existence. So the startup award that I have been given recently, the Startup India Award, it is based on the project name Freelancer. And the idea was to connect legal students and legal professionals to clients who would actually pay you. So, like, let's say if I were to haul myself to Delhi again for an internship work, I would ideally be getting a lot of research work, but it's not like crediting a lot to my skills as a lawyer, right? It's mostly research work only. And it's very few times you could get contract drafting or something of that sort, but then you're not expected to do that if you are like in your first, second, or third year. So that is why freelancer came into existence, so that you could take some actual projects, actual real projects, which you could draft as per your skills. So, like, let's say if you were a student, you could easily go and draft an NDA. But if you were a professional, you could easily go and draft a contract as well. So this was the idea behind freelancer, that you don't have to haul yourself to like different internships every year. Instead, you could take some real projects and actually make money out of it. So, in my internships, I did couple of internships. I did 10 to 12 internships. Surprisingly, I also got into contact with a lot of foreign firms. So there was this Kazi and Privacy Experts, which is based in London. I did a lot of their privacy work, data privacy work. Then there was this one another foreign firm, which is named Kern Legal, which is based in Dubai, and I did a lot of their fintech work and cryptocurrency, blockchain related stuffs, and a lot of their privacy works as well. A lot of contract drafting, a lot of NDA drafting. One of the most extensive internships that I've had is at Kern Legal. It was a 6 month internship, a remote internship, but then it was very, very expensive and very, very enriching experience. Apart from that, some of the other firms that I worked with was PSL advocates and solicitors, and there was this Sai Krishna. I'm also in talks with a lot of other firms, which I might be interning at in future. Most probably it would be in either data privacy or in general corporate, but I am looking forward to it. Again, there was this one arbitration center that was opened at CNLU in my fourth year. So I was one of the founding members. The first time that CCADR, which is the Chanakya Arbitration Center, that the first time that it opened in my college, it was opened by one of my seniors. She became the convener of it, and we were the first members of it. I am currently not a part of it because you can only be a part of 3 societies at max. But again, knowing that I have been a part of something that was the first of CNLU is something that is really enriching and really enthralling experience for me to be in. Um, yeah, so this is pretty much it for my college. Then coming to, I would explain some of the things about Vaquill. So basically, in 2019, my father had passed away, and since then, it's 2024 now currently, and my father was a government employee. If you know, there is a provision named compassionate appointment. So basically, if your spouse dies, they were in a government contractual, not contractual, but if they were in a government employment, their spouse are supposed to get this post or maybe a lower post, but then they are supposed to get one post at least. So again, since you are coming from a very backward state, the kind of bureaucracy that you see in your state is like to a whole new level. The amount of bureaucracy that my mother and me, I had to face on a daily basis, that you had to bribe this person, you had to bribe that person, you had to go through so many levels of people. You, for like very basic of the things, for getting the PF funds, for getting the APF funds, for getting the compassionate appointment, which for that matter, the compassionate appointment has not been given to us till date. It's been 5 to 6 years now. We have not been given that. So all of this, and this entire time I was in my college, and my mother was handling most of this work. Now my mother is a matric. She's a B.Ed pass out. She is not very fluent in English, and that is where this idea of Vaquill started to, I think, in its formation years, because all of these years my mom tried to get onto internet and try to find out information about all of these stuff. Where are you supposed to go for this? Where are you supposed to get the PF funds and all of it? Every single information has been given in English. Every single information. And even if you go on like official websites, you know how the governmental websites look like, right? And it's so hard to navigate all these governmental websites that it became really difficult for my mother. And I think to some extent, I'm also at fault that I could not support my mother to that extent that we could get a compassionate appointment, because essentially the Bihar government is really riddled with bureaucracy. All of this happened. We still could not get it, and this was something that was a constant problem with my mother, that she could not get any of this information in her native language. It was not available in Hindi. So in my final year, I talked to one of my friends who was in tech about this problem. It was just a simple rant that I was doing, that, oh, look, all of this has happened. Look how bad the bureaucracy at Bihar is. Look how bad the education department is, and all of it. And he's like, so why don't you do something about it? And exactly my point. And that is when it struck me that yes, I am supposed to do something about it. If I don't do it, then it would stop there as it is. And this is how Vaquill started. So he pushed me towards it, that no, you make it, you make it. I am in the tech field, so I'll make the website for you. I'll do everything. I'll handle the entire tech that is supposed to happen there. But you make the content, you make it in like different languages, and we will see that it actually exists in like real time, where people can access it as information. And that is how Vaquill got born. I wrote a lot of blogs. I wrote about 50 to 100 blogs. After that, we started hiring interns to write it. But now that Vaquill has started getting a lot of visitors, a lot of credit has to go to my co-founder as well, who made sure that the SEO was optimized to a level that we got a lot of visitors. And it's an entirely non-profit thing, because I'm not making any money out of it. It's taking a lot of my time, but it's something that is very personal to me. It started with my mother. It started with our struggles, and it now exists as a platform that where all of us could access it, and which is amazing thing to have. Yeah. So if you go on Vaquill, you will see that all the blogs that are available are almost on practical aspects. So like let's say if you wanted to know how to file an FIR, these are the questions that we take up. All these how and why and where questions. Something that is actionable, something that is practicable, something that is of use to you. So we take up all of these questions, like let's say how to file an FIR. We make a blog out of it. We write it in like different languages. We get it proofread to whatever extent we can. We use like a lot of softwares as well. But then we convert into 6 different languages, which includes like English, Hindi, Marathi, Tamil, Telugu, and Bangla. And the entire mission is to educate people about their legal rights in a simple, everyday language which they can understand easily. It is highly SEO optimized. We are trying to get voice search enabled translations also for maximum reach, and I'm just hoping that it would go to better heights even like coming times. And basically it's trying Vaquill is trying to break language barriers in legal education. We are trying to reach a wide audience with legal content that is easily digestible. And we have a couple of interns. Some of them are like really, really great. They make some of the very informational blog topics. They write on it. A lot of legal current topics as well. So like recently we covered this very interesting topic. So what had happened was, if you have heard of it, there was this person who bought the domain of Geo Hotstar.
Yes.
Have you heard of that news?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So we recently covered it, and it's so amazing that someone could foresee this, and they bought the domain, and then they tried selling it. But what is the actual legal implication of this? Are you even legally allowed to do this? A lot of this analysis happens on Vaquill. We do a lot of brainstorming with our interns as well. We do a lot of brainstorming with them, and then we come up with a very detailed analysis on topics like these. That are you even allowed to do this? If you were, let's say, if you were to sell this domain to Geo, would you be able to sell it or not? If Geo files a case on you, do you even have a case or not? All of this analysis is done at Workwell. So these are the information that we try to put out. Some of the actionable information, a lot of case research, a lot of case laws, a lot of news reports, and the blogs are there as it is. So these are basically we are trying to impact people's understanding of the law and how they are able to digest it in like a very easy to read and digestible languages. The starting struggles that I have had in uh, creating this entire platform is getting traction. And it's something that I believe that every founder's problem has been. The starting few months are like really, really challenging. You see the numbers which are in single digits, and you see them not going upwards. It's always at 0, 1, or 2. And it continues like that for like a month or a two. And it's really, really disheartening to see that you are putting in so much effort. You're putting in at least 4 to 5 hours every day, at least in the initial stages. Now it is even more. So you put in so much efforts, and you see the numbers only at a 0 or 1 or a 2 clicks, and you see the impressions which are like barely in 10 or 20. So these really dishearten you, and this is the struggle. I believe any person who is a founder, who is like related to a tech sector, or like running a platform, running a website, this is a major issue with all of them. The initial couple of months are really hard, and there have been countless number of times where I have wanted to give up. I have wanted to not continue this because the numbers were just not going up, and I was putting so much efforts on it. But then my co-founder has been really, really big support in this all throughout. He has been pushing me forward that तुम नहीं करोगी तो मैं करूंगा, but मैं करूंगा. And this has to go upwards. This has to go into public, because it's something that you are not doing for your own use, but it's something that should be available to the public. It's a kind of a charity that you are doing. It's kind of a good deed that you are doing. And if you're not going to do it, I'll do it. So that is how Vaquill continued on, and then we tried to like run it all throughout. It's been like 4 to 5 months now, and we are at a very, very good viewership, if I may say so. Because essentially, if you do not have a very big team, and none of them are like MBA grads or like anything of that sort, what we do at this point, and the number of visitors and the viewers that we have at this point, when I have seen other blogs like which have operated for like a year or a year and a half, they're at the same viewership levels as my blog is, and which is barely 4 months old. This is the difference. And it's all because my co-founder is like really, really good at SEO optimization and all of it. He's really good at tech. But it is also because it's a very niche area. And that is what we are trying to pick into. That when people do not have any other option to get into any other legal blog, which is in their regional languages, the only option that is left is Vaquill, and which is where we are getting a lot of traction. We get a lot of traction from Bangla blogs, we get a lot of traction from Marathi blogs. These two are the major visitor friendly blogs that we have had. So, this securing the initial readership and gaining recognition in the legal field has been a really a challenging task for us. But I think over time, over these 4 to 5 months, I think we have treaded on slowly and steadily, and it has given us a lot of returns. I think monetarily, I would not say that it's been like a very fruitful thing, because it was not open for like monetary returns. It started because I wanted to have a voice, so that people could get into this in their regional languages. It was something that was done entirely non-profit, non monetary sort of thing. But then uh, now that visitors have been coming, we are thinking to put it up on like Google AdSense and also that it gets some traction at least. And basically, apart from blogs, we are trying to get into a lot of other products as well. So, like, there are some legal products that are mentioned on our pages, which are like linked to Amazon pages or like Flipkart pages. So if you wanted to, let's say, if you had to buy something that is, oh, sorry, if you wanted to buy something that is related to law, let's say some legal wear apps or like legal books or even artifacts that are related to law. So like the one collar that comes or the dress code that comes, the cloak kind of thing that comes, and then there are a lot of artifacts, the cowl and the nameplates, all of these law related stuffs. These are also the some of the stuffs that are listed on our website. It's not ours, but we just directly link it to Amazon and Flipkart pages, so that you could directly go there. You do not have to search the main platform there. Apart from that, there are other products also that we are trying to build. So, Abhi, recently we started with this invoice generator. It's not something that is related to law basically, but in my past 4 to 5 years, I have done a lot of freelancing on LinkedIn. A lot, and by a lot, I mean a lot. My entire time used to go into freelancing. I used to do a lot of contract drafting. I used to do a lot of legal research. I used to take up a lot of clients and do their work and like get paid in foreign currencies. So this Kerm Legal and this Kazient were one of my first two firms that I worked with. A lot of my clients came through that as well. So all of these, when these clients pay you, or if you take up some work from like Fiverr and Upwork, all of the payments that is made to you is usually in foreign currencies. So be it dollars, be it pounds, be it euros, be it yen. And I had to make an invoice for each and every one of them. So half my time used to go into making invoices. And this is something that I really love to do, because you do a lot of grinding in like for like weeks and months and months. And then towards the end of the month, when you have to make that invoice, which shows that this is the number that you're going to get paid, it's a really good feeling, right? So the first product that we built on Vaquill was this invoice generator. It's not related to law, but it's something so close to my heart that we started with it. Let's just make this one thing it, which will be the first product for Vaquill. Um, so the entire idea behind Buckwill has been creating awareness about legal education and legal information to people, and that too also in like simplifying legal information for the masses. Because the need for clarity and accessibility in legal information is really, really crucial at this point in India. It's unfortunate that the majority of the information that is available in India is in English or like some language that is not accessible to you. It's mostly English only. And the gap in the legal literacy in India and how platforms like Vaquill are bridging it is something that I personally feel is very commendable. It's although it's my platform, but I feel that since no one else is doing it, I think that it's one step that should have been like taken by the government itself. It's it's sad that people have to come up and get into this sector for the government to realize that, oh, this was something that we had to work upon. It's your people, it's your democracy, it's the people have voted for you. It's the basic thing that you could have done for them, and you are not doing it. So a lot of all of this thought went behind making Vaquill, and it has been contributing to making legal education more democratic and inclusive. And we are trying to collaborate a lot with the law schools and the legal aid cells and communities for like further collaborations and all, to maximize our reach and maximize our potential. And um, and then we are trying to inculcate a lot of other resources on Vaquill as well. Apart from that, if you see my LinkedIn, you see a lot of like I have been very active on LinkedIn so far. So, if you see my recent LinkedIn post, you will see that I try to make it a very informative space for my followers. So, while there have been like occasional basic ranting stuffs on LinkedIn, as everyone does, but then a lot of these posts has been about how you can excel in a law, or you how you can excel, or you can go through go about your law school, law colleges. So like one of my the I started doing a series sort of on LinkedIn, which was how to ace your law school, which covered your the kind of committees that you should work into, the kind of projects that you should take, then the kind of subjects that you should choose, because you're essentially required to choose your subject also. You're it's uh, like there are some compulsory subjects as well, but there are some optional subjects as well. So like all of these stuffs. And then I made it into a series. So the mood series went on for like I think 15 to 16 episodes. I used to get into every intricacies on moot memorials, how you should draft them, how you should make them, what are the clauses that should have been added, how you're supposed to read a case, how you're supposed to draft the entire thing. All of this took me like 15 to 16 days of regular posting for me to like comprehensively cover it. Then I got into this these committee stuff, that which are the committees that you should be a part of. I explained all of this in detail. Then a lot of these posts were like specified for like special committees. So, like for example, a lot of people do not want to get into legal aid committee, but then if you tell them that this is one of the only things that will get you into like foreign or like abroad study, and the foreign universities actually look for such volunteer works and legal aid work, then you will realize ki, acha, oh, this is something that I should get into. I want to do an LLM from
Hmm.
Cambridge University. So, okay, I'll be a part of legal aid cell. So even if like maybe you're not that into charity work, you're not into that much into volunteer work, but even like at some level, when you think that this might help you in future, you get into legal aid cell. And again, this is how people grow professionally and career wise. I would have loved it if you did not get into it because of like such motives, but like when you actually wanted to do something for the people. But either ways, if it helps people, it helps people.
Okay.
And yeah, that is pretty much it. That has been throughout my college and my this platform that I have made. Then coming to as how hard has it been, this has been as a first generation lawyer. I think every law student will agree that if you're a first generation lawyer in like current times, it's really hard for you to get into the market as of now. The since it, it's considered law is considered one of the most exploited places to work in, and it's true. It's unfortunate, but it's true. If you were to get in get under some senior lawyer, they would be paying you peanuts for the amount of work that you do. But then again, you have to get into it. You have to like make a mark. You do this kind of work for like a couple of years. You take at least 5 years to make your practice credible enough for you to open your own chambers. And these were because of these challenges only I was discouraged a lot to get into law in the first place. But then the other alternative is that you join a firm, and the other alternative is that you start a business, which I did with Vaquill. But then finding mentors and building networks within the legal profession is really, really necessary, which is something that has been taught to us throughout these 5 years, that if you do not have a good networking skills in this area, you cannot succeed. It's one profession that demands a lot of struggle, but it also demands a lot of networking, and that is what has worked throughout these 5 years, and that is what has worked for my seniors as well. Just try to make sure that there is a work life balance between like you and your work, and it's not encroaching upon your personal space. But this is what you are supposed to do. You cannot get away from networking, and you cannot get away from like a very, very hard amount of work, because the profession itself demands a lot of your blood, sweat, and tears. And in I believe in the next couple of years, I think I have a pre-placement offer from my college, which is with a political consultancy. I cannot reveal its name because it's confidential, but I would be joining that. I would also be working upon Vaquill for this entire time, and hopefully either of these takes off. And since Vaquill is like really, really close to my heart, I really want this to get it to a place where it reaches to a lot of people. It becomes what iPleaders is right now. I hopefully someday. And yeah, that is going to be pretty much it from my side.
Thank you so much, Arshita. It is really a pleasure to listen to such a passionate speaker who has faced great personal difficulties and has come through it with a very clear mind, with a very clear purpose, and has actually done it. So really, congratulations. I'm very happy to hear it. And it's a pleasure to know that there are young people like you in India. This was what the channel is for. That look, give the people a chance to
Thank you so much, sir.
give the people a chance to talk. You don't know what they are doing. I don't know what they're doing. No one knows what they're doing because you don't listen to them. Now you had a chance to talk, and I'm sure other young people will also hear, some of them at least. And it's really a pleasure to hear this. You have a clear, not only vision, but achievement. And what can I say? Congratulations. Any final thoughts you want to add here?
Pardon, sir?
Any final words you have to add here? A final words to conclude.
Sure, sir. So I would just say that if you're planning to get into legal area, like legal law as your profession, I think you have to be ready for a lot of legwork. You have to be ready for a lot of struggles and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. But you also need to understand that this is a very rewarding field if you get the hack of it. So try to network with a lot of people. Networking can get you to very, very high places. But apart from that, do a lot of legwork, do a lot of hard work. And this is a very rewarding space. And if you do it well, I'm sure that any of you could make really big in this area.
Okay, well, thank you. Let's end it here. I want to talk to you a bit offline. Thank you so much for being here and telling us everything that you have done. Let's end it here. I'll be back with another young person or an expert. Bye till then. Bye, everybody.